Pause Culture, your one-stop destination for everything pop culture. My name's Aston, and today we're going to do a recap and a review for Star Wars Rebels Episode 1. So this episode is really action-packed. When we start off, we get to see like the Rebels crew, they're all joined onto like a little transport ship. We see off the rip, we get to see like two old droids that everybody's familiar with. We get to see C-3PO and we get to see R2-D2 walk on. They're with the Empire. We don't really know what they're doing. We see that they're C-3PO is being his normal self. He's actually there to help communicate between the Empire and like they're trying to hash a deal between like some. They didn't really give his name, like a little random guy. So we see it with C-3PO's job there. Obviously, C-3PO goes. R2 normally goes with him. So that's basically how the episode begins. We see Ezra and Chopper gets into it. Ezra, this is all basically a big setup. We see Ezra and Chopper get into it. Kanan basically complains to the conductor. The conductor sends Chopper to the back of the transport, and Ezra complains in this moment, which forces R2 and C-3PO to go to the back of the bus. That's when we find out that C-3PO and R2 are actually up to a plan that, like a secret mission that no one knows about. So now that we get that out the way, we just start breaking to each character. So this episode is, like I said, it's really action packed. We see that it's really based around Zeb. This episode, Zeb is having like there be a lot of backstory on Zeb. So we start off with Zeb. He's in the mission. He's pretending to be part of the Empire, which is strange because like if you actually follow like Star Wars history, we know that the Empire really does not like aliens. Like they're very humans only type of like organization. They do not like. They're really biased against aliens. So only alien that really has any rank within their ranks is like it's Thrawn. It's Thrawn. So Grand Admiral Thrawn. That's the only one who actually has any rank in there. And that's like I said, that's a big deal because like I said, they're biased against aliens. If you're not a human, like you're not really offered rank. So we see them making a deal with an alien, and he's pretending to be like I think a student. We know Sabine was pretending to be a level 5 student or studying a level 4 studying for a level 5 exams. I don't know how it actually works. So I'm assuming she might have been level 5. But so that was strange that like Zeb actually tried to play that role as he's working for the Empire. But we see once we find out what their hit is, like the whole Ghost crew is running low on currency, so they need to find ways to get stocks. They need to find stock, but they get like items and inventory. They're low on fuel, they're low on food, they're low on credits. So this whole mission basically is them just trying to get things they need. And they have a deal with Izaga to steal some weapons, so that's what the Ghost crew does. And we found out these weapons has a really close connection to Zeb. His home world was like basically forced into submission using these weapons. These weapons aren't really meant to be used on living beings, but for his country, they actually used them. And the only time we see Callus in this episode, that's where we get a lot of a backstory for Zeb. We find out Callus was the one behind. Well, he says he was the one behind like the fall of Lasant. We see he the one gave the orders to actually use the weapons on the Lasants, and he actually has one of the staffs that Zeb has. And we find out these staff is only for like the honor guard members of Lasant. So that would mean since Zeb has one, he was a member of the honor guard for the Lasant royalty. So we get that backstory right there that Zeb is military, prior military. He had a high position. He was in the honor guard, so obviously he's very skilled. We see he's very skilled with the weapon, but we also see Callus is a lot better with the weapon than Zeb is. We see he actually breaks Zeb down to the point where Zeb really gave up hope And the only reason he was saved is because Ezra happened to use the Force in this episode. I believe it's the first time we actually see a Force push in this series. I actually think like the first time we actually get to, Ezra's the only one we really see use Force power. We haven't really seen Kanan use any Force power. Which, like I said in my last recap, that I think Ezra might honestly be a little bit stronger when it comes to the Force than Kanan is. So, yeah. With that, like back to Zeb, we see once Zeb find out what the weapons that they're actually stealing is, he's put in a bad mood. He's really moody. He's kicking Ezra out of their joint cabin, and everybody like telling Ezra like to calm down. Is more going. Well, not everybody, just Hera sits him down and talks to him about it. And one thing is, I noticed that Kanan really didn't take any of Zeb's feelings into account. Like, if he really knew what happened, I figure he should know, since Hera knows what happened to his home world. I would believe Kanan would know, and he would actually take his feelings a little bit more into consideration, knowing that they're a team. They seem very close knit. For the core group, seems very close knit. So I don't know why Kanan wouldn't take his feelings into consideration a little bit more. I understand they're low on credits; they need the funds and everything, but that sounds kind of, it feels like kind of a harsh move done by Kanan. And so now that we're done with Zeb, let's move on to Sabine. We see Sabine is actually really smart, really talented. We see she's fluent in more than just. In the last episode, we seen she could talk to the Wookiees. We see she can talk to the droids. So Sabine herself is very intelligent. We see when she's talking to the Empire, the Imperial, like, I don't know what she was, but when she's talking to her, we see she understands how the Empire works. She understands the students, which turns out, like, we know, the thing about Sabine's little past. She actually was part of the Empire, and she ended up leaving it. So we see she's very intelligent. She speaks multiple languages, and she's like really talented. Besides her like weapons, and she's really good with fighting and everything. We see when she's actually purposely miscommunicates so she can send the ghost crew to the right landing zone, like to get the to get the weapons first, which turns out poorly. We see all the fighting that breaks out because C-3PO honestly gives the right like bunker to go to, and that's where everything goes downhill. C-3PO in this episode basically ruins every plan that Ghost has. I don't really understand it. If C-3PO knows, he doesn't really know he's on a secret mission, but he knows he doesn't belong with the Empire. Why would he purposely give away the Ghost crew if he himself is technically a rebel also? I really don't understand why C-3PO would do that. That's like my biggest pet peeve. It seems like C-3PO is always meant to be annoying and pessimistic. Not pessimistic, but be the root of a problem. Like in this movie and other movies also. So yeah, that's really it for C-3PO. R2, he knows he's on a secret mission. We see he brings out his microphone. We find out at the end of the episode that he recorded the whole time. He recorded like all the audio the whole time that he was with. He might have recorded footage, I don't know, but when we seen his little microphone come out, we know he at least recorded audio, and he zoomed in on like Ezra and Kanan's like conversation, so he knows what they're really talking about. With that being said, we can move on to Kanan. We find out Kanan really hasn't been training Ezra. We see he has connections at low points. We see he still has connections with like bounty hunters or smugglers and things of that nature, which helps them get funds when they need it. We also find out in this episode, if you haven't read like the new Dawn book, that Kanan and Hera has a little more relationship, has a more personal relationship going on. We see she calls him love. She doesn't call anybody else love. She only called Kanan love, and not really suspicious or anything. Like I said, I read the book. I listened to the audio book, and I don't really have an issue with it. This is like one of the first I don't really remember. No, yeah, it's like one of the first like alien human relationships. Besides, like if you read the Huntress book, she has a little relationship going on too in that book with a human. But in this episode, like we don't really find out too deep into like the Hera and Kanan relationship. We just know Hera is definitely like the mother figure of the ship. We see when Ezra and Zeb get into the argument, when Zeb kicks Ezra out. We see the first person Ezra goes and talks to is Hera. She sits him down. She actually counsels him, let him know, like, look, Zeb is going through some personal issues. You got to give him time. These weapons, like Ezra doesn't know what the weapons really are, but she tells him, like, look, just because you don't know what these weapons actually have a little backstory with Zeb. They're actually affecting Zeb. You got to give Zeb some time to actually cope with his feelings about these blasters, or I think they're called distressors, and no disruptors. These disruptors, and you need to give him some time while he's working on it. And we see Anakin. We see Zeb. I don't know why I'm messing up right now. We see Ezra like gets his like he understands that, and we see Ezra's really frustrated because when Hera brings up Jedi training, we find out this is the first episode. Second episode, you count the spark of rebellion, and we find out Ezra still hasn't started his Jedi training. He's just been on the ship. He's just been stealing and smuggling things the whole time. And he tells him like, look, I could have stayed at home and done this on my own. I already know how to steal. I already know how to break into places. There's nothing you could have taught me about this. I'm a pro at this already. And yeah, that's really what we find out. And we see also more blood. We see more explosions. We see that Sabine and her, how she normally does it, she overloads the disruptors. She sends them at the walkers. We see Kanan send a set to the stormtroopers, and they explode, and it gives them time to get away. That's really all that happened in this episode. But we do get to see Senator Organa again, which is a cool like throwback, like I said, to the original series. Everything like they're definitely plugging this series and bringing in characters to let us know that this is definitely part of the Star Wars universe. We're going to constantly keep seeing old characters, new characters, and see where they meet in this happy middle ground. I like it. I don't really have any complaints about this episode besides like the C-3PO issues. That was the only times like I really had issues with the episode, like when C-3PO called and gave out the coordinates like basically for no reasons. And my favorite part, like for like the Rebel move of the week, it would have to go to Callus. Honestly, we find out Callus is like very skilled in those weapons. He knows how like to manipulate people in their brain. Like that fight scene is like amazing. Like we see, even though Zeb is trained, he's like specialized in that weapon. Callus he's still no match for Callus. Callus, once he gets it, like, and another thing I didn't mention in the video is why they didn't go into why Zeb's I think is purple and Callus's is yellow. It might be vice versa. I know one was yellow and one was purple. I can't really remember whose is whose. But I hope they go into a deeper meaning and explain why one's yellow and one's purple. I might have missed it in the episode, but hopefully I find out, and hopefully tell us why what the colors actually mean for the little stun staffs that the Lassant came with. So that's been our show. If you like what you heard, like, subscribe, comment. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at lost_culture. Follow me on Instagram at Saint_Aston. And as always, stay lost.